Hey, how are you?
Something like that, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. How was my hours exercise? Never too It is very unfortunate.
I think she was. All right, I'll bring the group and it's all got four like my background. We'll see if you're talking. Don't please get into this anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Every ever big stuff. I don't work at all, but I still live my desk.
We got this
You were right.
You're very
Yeah, we sort of know those guys.
office in town. But it's always the same thing. I've been to a lot of shit, I have to go to the fight, never mind. Bolted on the way, she left them on the rack, right in my kitchen.
Well, then let's go sit right to see. I never even watched it, but
Somebody else is sitting. Merry Christmas, how are you?
I put on a shirt and I was like, oh. I got whatever. I'll just,
Last Saturday we did,
Change it up.
No, that's what I think, so I
Merry Christmas Eve, I know.
it is Christmas.
People are
to say Merry Christmas, but you wanted to add the Eve. Now I gotta say Christmas Eve. Like another word. Oh. Jerk. Now I gotta add extra effort into saying Merry Christmas. Very good word. That's still an extra word. But that was tooth in there.
That's Mary. Where did you see it all in your
That'd be weird if you just watched it so much.
It's just like,
It's like move their hands with my hand.
I can do that.
Yeah. I forgot what I was saying. Shut up! I'm just carrying around the machete.
or just say,
Merry That's really good. She's like scared of everything. She'll bark at everything. All of our cousins stay in certain places. They're all girls. Eva. Do that to children. Who's out there?
I don't have
Oh, you'll all be hoping I don't have it. It's like 2 hours. It's really long. It's long, painful, it's terrible. It is.
you get to see the Chipotle
You have to be, you have to all be committed to fight through because it's painful to watch. Because I know lots of people said, "Oh, I didn't make it 15 minutes," and I'm like, "Oh, you're a lightweight."
Thank you very much.
That is
Rose family?
Hello. Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Oh, really?
It's me. The video. It's Christmas Eve. Can you believe it? December just happened. Some of you are sitting here and don't have a care in the world. You're not busy, and this season hasn't been hectic at all. Every gift was easy to find, and every family member has been unusually kind and generous this December. But then, there are the other 99% of you. Some of you just left the house and are trying to remember if you blew the candles out, the ones near the highly flammable Christmas tree that's getting drier by the minute. Some of you are getting together with extended family members whose expectations are higher than Mount Kilimanjaro. Some of you barely made it to this service, and within the last 60 minutes actually thought, maybe we should just skip it all together. So for all of us in here, I just want to remind you of what's really important. All that other stuff is important, but this one thing is way more important than anything else. So just breathe and take it in.
She will give birth to a son, and you shall call him Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and they shall call him Emmanuel, which means God with us. Today in the city of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is Christ. He is Christ the Lord.
That's what's really important. So wherever you're at, whatever you're in the middle of, and whatever is coming next for you and your family, we invite you to set aside this time to focus on Christ the Lord. Just breathe. And allow yourself to view this world-changing event with awe and with wonder. After all, God is with us, not only in Bethlehem, but right here, right now.
Please rise and sing with us. While angels sang to lowly shepherds, three wise men seeking truth, travel from afar, hoping to find the child from heaven, falling on their knees, bow before the humble Prince of Peace. We bring an offering of worship to our King. No one on earth deserves the praises that I sing. Jesus, may you receive the honor that's yours due. Oh Lord, I bring an offering to you. Open the skies. Over the skies of Bethlehem appear a star, while angels sing to lowly shepherds. Three wise men seeking truth, to travel from afar, hoping to find the child from heaven, falling on their knees, bow before the humble Prince of Peace. We bring an offering of worship to our King. No one on earth deserves the praises that I sing. Jesus, may you receive the honor that's yours due.
Good evening, welcome. Merry Christmas. I'm Pastor Dave.
And I'm Pastor Jesse. And we just wanted to start off this service here this evening and just share some of our Christmas memories and some things that traditions we've done in the past with our family. So I was just going to start, and now our family is very strange, and we have many strange traditions. We open our gifts on Christmas Eve, so yeah, I know we're strange. But when we were little kids, we used to have this tradition where on Christmas Eve, this was before we opened presents on Christmas Eve because we changed. But when we were little, we would get a whole bunch of mattresses out and we would actually all sleep in the living room by the Christmas tree. We'd get mattresses out and our blankets and we'd all just sleep kind of around the Christmas tree. And it was a great memory for me because I just remember this loving family and community of all coming together and just sleeping on a whole bunch of mattresses. And we'd all be sitting there in our PJs, and then I remember my dad reading the Christmas story as he did every year. It was such a great memory of that family and that community and being together on Christmas Eve.
Well, we did presents on Christmas morning, God's way. Most of you know, I grew up in a house that didn't have faith. So for us, the Christmas was there was something in the air about that time. You know, there was just something in common, and I can put my finger on it at the time, but there was, I would say there was magic in the air. There was something going on, something more happening. So we would arise very early on Christmas morning and wake up our parents, and we would do our stockings first. That was the thing, and there was always one present in the stocking that was meant for you to tinker with right away. Once it was a juggling set, once it was learning to play harmonica. I can do neither. But it was something, and then after all of that, the present unwrapping had finished, we would always sit down for a breakfast of kippers, which my dad was British, and that was one of the things that he brought to the table. I've not foisted that on my children, but I really enjoyed it. It became a really important, magical time for us to sit around the table and enjoy the meal after all the brouhaha of the season. And I would say that even though we didn't acknowledge Jesus in that as a family, there was something missing in our family tradition. We'll talk about that in a little while. I found this video that another church showed last year at their Christmas Eve service, and I wanted to share with you another person's Christmas memory.
My mama told me something when I was growing up that has forever changed my life. She played the piano at our little church at 3rd and Pine Street for 37 years. She tried to teach me to play the piano, but I wasn't very good. She would teach me the names of the notes, what a major key is, what a minor key is. She tried to teach me musical theory, but I was just bored. Then, one day, she told me that the best news in the world is found by playing a simple scale on the piano. I had no idea what she meant, so she told me to play an 8-note scale. So I did. I said, "How is that good news?" And she said I played it incorrectly and that I needed to play it the other way. So I did. Again, I said, "How is that good news?" And she said, "I played it the right way, but I needed to add the pauses." The pauses. She said, "The pauses. Add them on the first, second, fourth, sixth, seventh, and last note." Now, I was frustrated and said, "How can 8 notes with random pauses be the best news in the world?" Then I got up, walked away, and went outside. Frankly, I didn't care what she was talking about. I didn't like playing the piano anyway. Well, years later, my mama got sick and passed away. As I was thinking about her, I remembered what she told me about the piano. Not only that, I still remember the notes she told me to pause. The first, second, fourth, sixth, seventh, and last note. So I sat down at her piano and played the scale with the pauses. And that's when I realized the good news she was talking about.
So coordinated. Well, we come to talk about this story of this baby, and what an amazing, awe-filled story it is. What an incredible time of year this is. This is we've been talking about this over the time, the awe and wonder that comes with this. There's something about kids' laughter. You know, as many people as it irritates, it brings joy to my heart. So, we talked about the most important thing of this season but especially, well, at any season, but especially at this time of the year, reminding us that God created us, that God created you, that you're made in His image, and He loves us so much that being removed from His presence was intolerable to Him, and so He came down. He could have sent a message. He'd done that in the past, but He came down, put His essence into human form, and came down to pass on His message. He wanted so much to be involved in us and to show His love for us that He came down. That just should give us all pause to just go, wow. Just wow. He sent this message of love, and a message that we're to share the love with other people. To love God and to love others is the heart of Jesus' message to us. And He told it time and time again and modeled it time and time again so that we would understand where He was coming from. You know, we spend so much time in this busy season and you know, there's always the difficult relatives that you have to deal with, or the squabbling that happens in family. I mean, probably not any of your families, but in some families, or people who are stressed at this time of the year. Somebody was telling me earlier they were at West Edmonton Mall today. Oh, foolish people. You know, but that isn't the greatest part of the season, obviously. We're here to be reminded this evening that we're enfolded in His love. It's all around us. It's everywhere. And at this time, we pause in our hectic lives and remember that a baby was sent. And all of those who encountered the baby or heard the news were struck with awe and wonder. It says this, Luke 2:17, it says, when they had seen Him, they spread the word concerning what had been told them about this child. And all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds said to them. Now that word amazed, that Greek word we've translated to be amazed, amazo, is actually means awe and wonder. Everyone who heard the news was struck with awe and wonder at this incredible news for what happened. See, we have God's message come to us in human form. The story is so amazing that even those who don't encounter the baby are struck with awe and wonder at that. Now, maybe some of you struggle with awe in your lives. You know, we become a little jaded after a while and we don't get to a place where that's so easy for us. But God's provided teachers for us. They're called children. And they encounter the world afresh and with awe and wonder. So try and see the world through their eyes to encounter what is happening. Now, maybe maybe there's something in the world that helps you to encounter awe. Maybe for you it's nature or art or music that transports you to a different place. For me, I'm a science nut, and I love to learn more about the world we live in, and it reveals God in new and amazing ways to me all the time. And I am just, every time I read a new story about something we've discovered, I'm just blown away by the amazing world that God has created. This amazing universe that He's gifted to us. It's so amazing, and I don't know if any of you noticed that, but this week the Northern Lights were bright and shining. And, you know, when you see something like that, I've yet to meet someone who goes, yeah, whatever, and keeps walking. It stops everything. And you just pause and you look and you see, that's amazing. That effect is just beautiful and transfixing, and just you pause and go, wow, like how beautiful is that? And then you see some people who go out in the country where there's no light and they take these amazing pictures of it. And you just are reminded that this world is bigger than going to the mall or shopping. There's so much to be reminded of in this. And on this time, in this world that was created, we are reminded that God came into this thing he has made, that God came down. Now, he could have come riding on a cloud as a king. He could have changed the world the way he wanted it, but he didn't. He came as a baby. If that doesn't make you pause and go, like, that's kind of freaky. God sent the essence of himself down as a baby to restore us. He came down to take us up, as I said last week. And as we are studying that and as we reflect on the intricacy and the amazing nature of that, it makes it clear. And for me, growing up, and when I became an adult and I learned about Jesus, it changed something for me about this season. And that thing that I couldn't quite put my finger on it, that magical feeling around Christmas time, all of a sudden became clear that there was something more. There was something I was missing. There was something more to this world. There was something more to this season. That something more impulse that I felt, that I think we all feel when we encounter something that transports us with awe and wonder, that something more. Well, we have a word for it. We have a name for it. It's Jesus. And this season is about the baby Jesus given to us. God himself was sent to us as a baby to intercede for us, to re-enter our lives that we might re-establish relationship with the Father. And it says this in Colossians, it says that this baby is the image of the invisible God. Jesus came to reveal God's glory. In Hebrews it says the Son is the radiance of God's glory and the exact representation of his being. This baby is more than just a baby. It means more. And how do we react to this gift of God's, of his love, this gift that restored us into God's life? How do we react? Well, there's only one thing we can give in return. There's only one thing we have, is ourselves. There was a big price to be paid with this gift, but the cost to us is simply belief. We believe and are given the reward. Now, God has planted eternity on our hearts, and there are many ways for us to reflect that and to worship him, to connect to that. But today, tomorrow, during this season, we are reminded of that time some 2,000 years ago, when a baby was given to us, when a baby came in a manger. And this baby came to show God's love for us. A love that we can't earn, that we haven't done anything for, but is just there for us. He loves us, even with all our flaws and our mistakes. This gift to us in the form of a child. Well, when we reflect on that and worship God, we one of the ways we worship is through praise. We praise God and we remember that during this time that it is a gift to us, that this baby is important to us, that this baby becomes our Savior. And so we pause and we breathe and we remember. And another way we can praise God is through singing about Him. And let's continue that now.